I'd like to introduce Valarie from Wales, who has fibromyalgia. Welcome, Valarie.
Thank you.
Could you tell me when you first started noticing symptoms?
Approximately 2006, I think. 2006 roundabout.
What were you noticing at that time?
All sorts of odd things, really. Lots of stomach problems, terrible heads, giddy heads, and not being able to remember things, forgetfulness, tingling fingers, tingling toes, and tingling in my legs, and all sorts of aches and pains, really, particularly on my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about what I can remember anyway.
And when were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed in 2009 when I was 66, I think 65, 66, something like about that.
Mm-hmm. So it took quite a while, didn't it?
Oh, I was back and forth to doctors, hospitals, goodness knows what. I had so many tests you wouldn't believe, and it was all of a sudden my doctor said, oh, perhaps you might be suffering from fibromyalgia syndrome, and she gave me the instructions from the NHS, the list about it, and then I made an appointment to see Dr. John, I can't remember his name now, in London anyway. I will remember it in a minute, but I can't remember it at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And he diagnosed the fibromyalgia syndrome, and that was in November 2009.
And what were your symptoms by then?
Well, all the things I've been saying, really, and he suggested I took duloxetine, which I did, and it made a tremendous difference to me, and I was fine for about 4 months, but I had to keep on increasing the dose, and all the symptoms came back when I got used to the dose, so I decided I wasn't going to carry on doing that.
Mm.
And that's when I contacted you, I think, and I went on to the LDN at that point.
Were you able to get a prescription on the NHS, or did you have to go...
Oh, no. I discussed it with my doctor, but she wasn't willing to give me an LDN on the NHS.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I say, that's when I came to you, and you suggested a way of getting it, and I managed to get it quite easily then.
Oh, good. So, when you first started, did you notice any introductory side effects?
I didn't have any side effects when I first started, no. And it didn't work straight away,
mm-hmm.
but gradually I did feel a lot better. But I noticed when I got up to 3 milligrams, I started feeling quite sort of edgy and like nervy. And it was suggested it might be a thyroid problem, because apparently LDN has an effect on the thyroid as well. That's what I wasn't told anyway. But I haven't got those symptoms anymore, and I'm now on 4.5.
So how is your fibromyalgia now, although...
I do have aches and pains, and I do sometimes get nuzzy heads, but on the whole, it's much, much better than it was. And I feel normal, put it that
mm-hmm.
way.
So if you said your quality of life, score it between 1 and 10 before you started LDN, what would it have been?
Oh, about 5, I would think.
And what would you say it is now?
Oh, more like 8, 9, something like that now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good improvement, isn't it?
Oh, yes, I'm pleased.
Would you continue taking LDN?
Yes, I will.
And what would you say to other people who are contemplating trying LDN?
I would certainly say try it. It doesn't have any side effects as far as I'm concerned, anyway. And there's no reason why you shouldn't at least try it.
And what does your doctor think to the improvements in you?
Well, I haven't been to see the doctor for actually ages, to be honest. But I'm planning to copy the information that I've had from the LDN Association, and I'll write to her and give her all that and see if she will change her mind about prescribing it. But I haven't actually been to see her since I've been feeling such a lot better.
Well, I mean, even that's good news, isn't it? Not having to spend all your time in doctors' waiting rooms.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting and very inspirational for other people, I'm sure, Valarie. Thank you very much.
That's okay, fine. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.